No, it's reloading. So now my mic is working. They can hear me, but yeah, but not you guys, because I normally if you guys were talking and I would hear you, I would see this thing jumping up on my desktop audio. I'm gonna go to default and try and reset it that way. Nope. Why? Why though? Why? Alright. No, now I'm gonna try and go back to. Okay, let's try speakers. See how that works? Nope. What? I haven't. No, you know what? I think I'll try that out. We'll set that there. Yep. Windows default. You know that's still my son's goodnight song? I know. I sing it to him every night. He's like, "Can you sing your theme song, please?" I was like, "All right." I had to change sploosh to splash, and then I added Danny in the second verse. Okay, sound, output, wireless. So let's try this one. Okay, so that was output is the wireless flow gaming. That's usually what it is. Input is at that as well. Oh, let's check. Yep, let's check that. Okay, so yeah, it reset it again. It does that all the time. We just fixed this the other day when we were playing with the thing, the special thing. All right, so voice setting, input. Gimme. Ah, there we go. And then give me game. I mean, I guess I could try this. Test. Test. You guys have to say something. Oh, I can't hear you now. Ah, shit. Test.
Faint.
There we go. Okay, say something.
Hey.
Hello.
Right.
All right.
We fixed it.
No, we haven't.
There we go.
Oh god, I can hear Revolve
good.
now and Mucky. My night's just got so much worse.
You suddenly got loud. Hey guys, welcome in. Sorry you came in on tech issues.
Rude.
We just
Pro streaming.
Yeah, I'm on new computer, and it reset everything. This is the first stream on new computer. Things are still under construction. Things will be up.
But if it makes you feel any better, it is gradually killing Penny by like baking her to death. So you can feel better about that.
I do. I feel better about it.
I'm very sweaty.
I actually feel a bit of a strange feeling. Awkward.
Is it a tickle?
A little twinge.
Little twinge.
Oh, have you been watching ASMR streams?
No, I think I've trapped a moth somewhere.
Bentley, thank you so much for the 3-month resub, babe. Much
Just rude.
appreciated.
Poor moth.
Thank you.
Don't deserve that.
Hi, everybody. Hi,
Lisa Zena, do.
How are you, Inked Fish? Hi, Blue. Hi, Holly. Hi, Voodoo. Hi, Aqua. Hi, Evolved. Hi, Redneck.
Aqua.
Aqua.
Hello.
Titanic.
You just said hi to me in chat when I'm in your
Hey.
I know.
stream.
Shut up. I'll just read.
Don't forget, because it's a short stream, we're going to skip the awkward bit where we say, I'm mucky.
No, we're gonna do that still.
Oh, you're such a dick.
Hi, Inkfish. How are you? Hi, Nocthar. How are you? Hi. Did stepson get to go to the park with my daughter today? I know that there was a bunch of them. And I hope that maybe you guys are able to come by tonight for swimming. And she's quite successful. Yay. Okay, as long as Mucky's face.
Lucky's
is
like,
going to
right,
oh.
okay, gets his swimming costume out.
All right. Drop a lurk. Oh, thank you, Hashtag. Have a great night. Take care. I hope everything works out okay. Hi, Necros. Hi, Devoan. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna jump straight into people introducing themselves. Voodoo, if you want to do the Oh, thank you so much for gifting us.
Mucky away.
Oh yeah, Necros, just to answer your question, the redeems don't work. D&D stream.
Thank you. Yes, that was something I was setting up, and then the audio thing was a problem. Okay, so dodge that. Okay. Thank you so much, Voodoo, for gifting us up to Homer. Much appreciated. And also, I will be setting up the Wild Magic Redemptions while Aldous takes away the introduction of who he is and what he does here.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you even?
I don't remember from last week.
No, absolutely. I'm Aldous. I'm actually not a streamer. I am a live scientific experiment in how quickly someone can lose patience with 4 other people on Twitch.
Fair. Absolutely fair. Thank you.
There's not a lot of variables to it. It's just literally losing his mind.
Aqua, go ahead.
But for science.
How's that
Well, I'm
experiment
Aqua,
going?
and I play Demea, the Tiefling Cleric Tempest, who feels a little bit overwhelmed by the group of people she's with currently. I also stream. I'm currently beating myself up with Dark Souls. I also do art, and I have a shop on Redbubble that if you want to check out, you can buy some things.
Mucky.
Hey, I'm Mucky. That's all you need to know about me. I mean, other than the fact I play the coolest character in this lot, apparently. According
He
to the
also
poll.
streams sometimes.
According to the poll.
And
It's just your toe that wins.
my toe's
That's all
still
of you.
poorly. Just putting that out there. There might be future polls on my toe.
I am definitely considering giving Mucky's character an enchanted toe ring of some sort.
Nice.
I like the way that it's turned Penny into a chair stream, talking about my toe again.
Oh, she instantly checked out. You know, she has no competition. She can't
He
even.
mentions
No time
his
for
toe.
toes. No time for toes.
Riot!
Evolve.
I am Evolved. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch, and I play Adrian Morningshade, by far the most charismatic and dashing fellow of the group. He thrusts and busts. He slays goblins and sets them on fire. He hates evil of all types and will go out of his way to destroy it. He's a great detective. He's a tiefling whisperer, basically. He knows how to speak to their language and, you know, really get down to their characters and figure out exactly who they are. He's wonderful. But I do stream here on Twitch as well. I do a variety of different games, mostly shooters, some RPGs, co-op games, party games, and I do YouTube videos as well.
Alrighty.
Yeah, go so.
I do brood a lot too, Ben. Yes.
And he broods.
Amber.
Hi,
Adrian broods, not me.
Mm.
I'm a lovely ball of life.
Yeah, not competitive at all.
Definitely not. I'm
No.
a great educator as well.
Yep.
Patient.
Oh, so patient with Aqua.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Morningstar. I mean,
Oh.
Shade.
Oh. It wasn't
Shade?
even intentional that time.
life imitating art. Is that what we're going for?
I hate everything.
Oh, that makes me
In-game,
so happy.
in-game.
That makes me so happy. Alrighty, we're gonna go into the song submitted by the one and only Krakus, and then we are going to do previously on, and then jump into the story. It is probably going to be a little bit of a short stream for all the obvious reasons. Here we go.
Out ashore, the man with a calm voice, running D&D, gonna be a big fight someday. Smile on your face, poise and grace, placing your monsters all over the place. He will knock you. He will knock you. Adrian, you're a broody paladin, using divine smites, gonna get you some peace someday. You've got great defense, spider sense, trying to make some friends, but you're causing offense. He will smite you. He will smite you. Demaya, you're a cleric, a tiefling, lighting up the street, gonna take on the world someday. Thunder in your heart, heals impart, attacking enemies till they're blasted apart. She will shock you. She will shock you. Grumbly, you're a fighter, shield man, eating all the bacon, gonna get you some steak someday. Taken to your knees, a backdoor tease, wielding mighty weapons and rolling big D's. He will boink you. He will boink you. Truly you're a sorceress, wild thing, daggers in your eyes, gonna get you some dick someday. You got sploosh to displace, big disgrace, somebody better put you on Morning Shade's face. She will hump you.
Fuck! You guys got
She will hump you.
Stop laughing!
They will rock you.
Everybody got the nicest things!
They will rock you.
God damn it, Krakus! They got the coolest shit! He was all poised. She's all lightning and thunder. He's gonna smite you. He's going to... What was your thing? Bacon? Steak?
Mostly bacon.
I'm gonna sit on Adrian's face. I'm a disgrace.
You heard it. You heard
Splooshing.
it.
What
She
the
said.
shit is
Yeah.
it? What the shit? God damn it,
Holy
Krakus.
shit! Well, that's time to start drinking.
And that's the stream. See you, folks.
Cheers, Krakus. Well done.
That was great.
Oh, good God, man.
I am going to flip the goddamn table.
It's 2,000 channel points, man.
Oh,
my
dear.
God. Well. All right. Cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
man.
we need to hear that again, right? Do encore?
Encore.
I think we just play it again another time.
Oh,
I think
definitely need
Mucky's champing at the bit. You can see it. He's
I know.
very eager to get his
I'm
recap
done.
going.
Peter's like, I
I can't talk after that.
Subscription now. Just a temporary ban.
When's the album out, Krakus?
I know. Redneck. That is a good point. At some point we need to have Time of the Wolf album for like season 1
Yes.
album of all the things.
Oh yeah.
That's actually a stellar idea. That would be awesome.
Oh.
Hello everybody. Okay, we're gonna jump into previously on with the one and only. I think I set this up. I hope I set this up because I
This
might
will be
have
fun
gotten
if you haven't.
distracted. Oh no.
Oh, no. you doing, folks? It's me. It's your boy, Mucky. So, previously on The Time of the Wolf, Grumbly was involved in a super cool battle. Grumbly heroically protected his friends. Grumbly then took an arrow like a champ. Grumbly suddenly found Truly really hot for some reason. Grumbly was also impressed by the stretchiness of his pants. Grumbly then went on to crack some skulls to impress Truly. Suddenly, Grumbly noticed an even hotter tiefling with buns of steel.
That's right.
Grumbly then needed to go for a sit down after feeling faint from blood loss, which perhaps wasn't due to his injury, if you know what I mean. Roll the credits.
Well, I'd
Nice,
say we're
that
about to
music came
start
through.
session, but
Chair, what do you have for us? Chair?
guide us, oh leader chair. Guide us. Give us.
There
this-
he is.
Oh, Aldous is.
No.
Oh.
I was really enjoying this chair edition of Time of the Wolf.
Much less sassy somehow.
Yeah. My apologies.
Much
My
less
daughter had somehow
attitude.
managed to kick her duvet off her bed. So
That's very, very tragic and must be dealt with immediately.
is.
exactly, absolutely.
And I mean that entirely unsarcastically.
So, have we had a recap? And if not, do I need to
Yes.
do one? Okay, we have had a recap.
We
Good.
had a recap of
So-
what Mucky did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So obviously Grumbly was a hero and saved everybody. Demea in no way killed all the big monsters. That certainly didn't happen. Right. So
Yeah.
so there was a big fight. Several buildings are on fire. You've found your way over to the other side of the bridge. There are a couple of quite wounded people. One of them you recognise as one of the barmaids from the pub. She was kind of slumped down against the barricade on the far side, on the town side of the bridge, with a big wound to her shoulder. You have also come over to that side of the bridge carrying a pretty wounded Goliath chap with you, and obviously various other things have been going on. At that point, Truly still is a man. Grumbly is very much attached to her leg and kind of loves it. But at that point, with a sort of weary sigh, Zar the druid kind of appears at Truly's elbow and kind of mutters a few words, and a sort of calming aura kind of ripples across the area around the barricade. Grumbly, you find yourself doing unspeakable things to Truly's leg. You're not entirely sure you remember why. Truly, you find yourself more or less your normal self again. You still, unfortunately, don't have hair, and you still have a rather fetching feather beard. But other than that, you have returned completely to normal, as has everyone else.
I don't call that normal at all. I don't call that normal at all.
That's why I said relatively normal. I mean, honestly.
She just doesn't listen.
You know, I'm just gonna say it. Truly,
So,
Truly is like looking over at Grumbly and just be like, dude, what are you doing?
Like, what? Ooh.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's
What?
that's not our thing. That's not our vibe.
No.
No.
Was I unconscious or something? Did somebody hit me around the head?
I don't know.
Did you?
I'm bald and have a beard. Weird shit is happening. We just
Yeah, but the beard does kind of suit you.
Did something crawl up into your pants or something moving around in there?
Nothing.
Like a creature?
Nothing. I just need to just go over here and stand in the corner facing this wall a minute.
sounds. You know, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna continue helping this scared woman out. She looks like she's lost a bit of blood. So, yep. It just turns away. Just like...
Okay. How are you going to help her out?
I'm putting pressure on the wound still. Duty was doing that when we left off. That was like the last thing that we did, and so she's just going to continue applying pressure and try to calmly explain that she is the same person that's been here the whole time. Sorry about any sort of fear it might have instilled in her. You know, apologizing for the fact that she went from dude hitting on her to reasonable, weird-looking chick.
Make a persuasion check for me.
11 total.
So she's not completely, totally freaking out, but that may be more to do with the fact she's on the edge of consciousness and therefore can't run away, as opposed to your amazing calming skills.
Okay. She's fine with that. She's just gonna like. She's had a really rough day, so she's just fine with really just sitting there and just putting pressure on the wound and nothing else. That's all she wants to do is just help.
How much did you take?
She didn't take any damage because she was freaking distracted by everything and a dude. So.
Okay, so Truly is in the corner doing her best Dr. Quinn medicine woman impression.
Dr. Big Bird.
Grumbly, for the moment, is pretending he finds some boxes that face the other way to you guys. Very, very interesting.
He needs some blood loss as well.
Anyone else like to do?
I believe Demea and I are still taking care of what's his name?
Goliath.
Yeah, the Goliath.
You were sort of knocking around Goliath chap. Yeah, absolutely. You basically had managed to get him settled in by this barricade, but you hadn't told me anything you were going to do with him or anything like that because you were a little bit distracted by Duty's aggressive pickup techniques.
Yep.
As I recall.
Yep. Demeo is very traumatized by those. I think she's gonna make sure that Goliath is okay, and then go see who else she can help.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, obviously, he had fallen more or less unconscious, having managed to weakly sort of talk to you, and you know that he is kind of stable-ish. But he is not. He's not a well chap at all. He looks like he's been beaten pretty badly by these people who are busy beating up on Grumbly and Adrian last time. The hobgoblin ninja people.
Ninja monk.
If I remember correctly, I'm out of spell slots. Yep.
Oh yeah, we drained a lot of our stuff. Survive that.
I guess I could do a medicine check.
Yeah, you absolutely can do.
Come on, dice, be nicer to me this time. Nope.
What are you gonna? What's Demea gonna do as far as this medicine check is going? You know.
Well, she gonna check to see like how serious the injuries are and what she can do to like
Okay.
stabilize him a little more. I got 8.
Okay. It sort of seems to be maybe a little bit beyond your skill. You've often dealt more with kind of like the obvious kind of broken bones and
Big large gash.
big large stab wounds with swords and that kind of thing, and all of that kind of thing. You're not necessarily all that used to kind of the blunt force trauma or anything like that.
Here's some ice. Put it on it. I don't know.
At that point, Adrian, what are you going to be doing while the mayor is doing this?
I'm going to check the villager bodies to see what they have as far as resources. They're not going to use them, and we could probably reapply them towards the town to rebuild, and ourselves as well. Basically, I'm corpse robbing.
Okay, so you are behind the barricade, going through the pockets of a couple of dead farmers. At that point, when one of the barmaids from the bar kind of looks up from tending to her friend and says to you, "Excuse me, what are you doing?"
I'm checking to see if they have any personal items or money that we could use to rebuild the town. It's still on fire.
She says, "But if it's still on fire, then you're not going to be able to rebuild it, are you? What kind of person are you going through the pockets of the dead? Their families are over there on the other side of the square trying to get into the townmaster's house. They might see you."
Well, I mean, with all the smoke here, I'm sure they might be a little vision impaired at the moment. But I truly think, putting the money back into the town itself overall, this is a great deed.
Buy a lot of
She looks
bacon.
at you, says, "I don't know where you come from, but in my books, going through the pockets of the dead people who are on your side after a battle isn't a great deed. And anyway, I can tell you, you're going through Kellen's pockets there, and he spent all his last pay on fire whiskey, so you're not going to find anything."
Oh, well. As long as it doesn't go towards that damn city chancellor, then I'm fine. I have no issue.
At this point, her eyes kind of widen a little bit and says, "We might not like Townmaster Barden all that much. He might be a bit officious and a bit arrogant, but as soon as the attack started, he threw open his gates for the rest of the townsfolk and bade them come in so that they could hide behind his walls. I won't hear a word against the man now."
That is surprising. That's quite surprising. Did he charge them for it?
"Worried you're not going to find as much coin on the next body?"
No.
Spits on the ground.
Coin went to him, and only.
These are probably poor people anyway, Adrian. So
yes, I will leave these people as they are. See if we can find their families to identify.
Okay. Grumbly, you appear to have made your way out of your box of shame.
So Grumbly's just going to take a step back and look at the sort of fires and look down at the river and see what kind of barrels and things he can carry to try and put some of these fires out. And he's going to try and get the townsfolk to help him.
Absolutely.
Distract them from Adrian's looting. I'm just going to give him a nudge and a wink as I walk past. You crack on.
You see a couple of the townsfolk already seem to be making their way over to, because all of the properties that are burning, there are 3 large buildings on the far side of the river. So they are well alight, and it doesn't look like any amount of buckets of water is going to to save them. But what you do notice is a couple of people with buckets of water making their way over to the houses nearest the bank of the river on this side of the river, and they've started kind of throwing buckets of water up onto the roofs of the houses there. So if you want to go help them out, then you're most welcome to.
Yeah, he's going to just grab a few barrels and try and form a line to get this water flowing.
All
like
right.
a human chain.
How are you going to do?
Is the woman I'm putting pressure on? Is she getting aid from anybody who actually knows what they're doing in addition to what I'm doing, or am I just like keeping her at bay at this point?
I mean, at the moment, you got you and the two other barmaids from the pub kind of crowded around her. The barman from the pub is around, but he also looks like he's in a bit of a state because he was fighting against the hobgoblins too. So he's just sort of slumped off to one side. At the moment, you all seem to know about as much about medicine as each other.
Yay!
I mean, in terms of in your party, Demea and Adrian are more the healing type.
And I'm trying to heal the whole town at this point financially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Very much seeing the bigger picture there. Grumbly, I'll just ask you, how are you going to do this? Are you going to try and kind of shout to the townsfolk to, come and get organised, or are you going to kind of try and lead by example with the barrels you're clutching?
Yeah, I'm just going to lead by example and just point them into. We can make this more efficient if we just form a chain from the river
All right.
to the building.
Give me like an athletics check then, just sort of. Let's see how good an example you set for the town.
Oh, this is where I should have had my character sheet open.
Did you not?
Disc.
Bad player. I'm not a nerd. No, okay, so that's 11 plus. Bleh. That's 16.
Yes, 16. No, that's fine. Yeah, so you obviously you're in there with the with lugging a great big barrel, showing the villagers how it's done and all of that, and the sort of the bucket chain becomes much more efficient. They're maybe not able to lift quite as much as you, some of them, but yeah, absolutely, they're doing a pretty good job at this point. So yeah, you've done well there. Right, okay. At this point, truly you feel that hand back on your shoulder again, and you look up, and Zar the Druid is there. He says, "Perhaps I might be of some help here," and he sort of eases your hand out of the way and kind of lays his hand on, and sort of like there's a sort of scent of kind of pine and like a little soft greenish glow around his hand, and the wound sort of is partially closed up. And he looks to the other two barmaids, and he says, "This one needs rest. I will come and see her again when I can." And he looks over towards the barman who is sort of slumped near the barricade, and he says, "And you, good sir?" Yeah, and the barman basically says, "Save your spells. I don't need them." And he kind of wearily hauls himself to his feet, looking very much like he does need them, and kind of limps off across the square after the three barmaids who are they're all heading back over towards the pub. So we've got Grumbly nobly leading his splooshing detail, and the other three of you now. So truly, you are somewhat unoccupied.
She's going to kind of address the druid a little bit, and that's really amazing what you can do. That's really impressive. Thank you for all your help. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna see if I can help with the fires. She's going to kind of join in on helping with the buckets of water and creating the line.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, that's fine. You two are there. There are not that many houses that close to the river on this side, but there's sort of 3 or 4 that are close enough to the blazing buildings that you might be worried about it. So you guys are going to be occupied for a little while at this point. Good sort of 10-15 minutes or so.
Aldous,
The mayor in it, yes.
if could Truly cast Ray of Frost at one of the smaller fires to potentially put it out?
Well, there are 3 fires. They're all sort of 3, sorry, of pretty decent sized buildings at this point. Like, you did not do any exploring of those buildings, so you don't know what they were for.
Okay.
But if you imagine kind of a pretty long, low 1-story building with a peaked roof that is a good kind of 20 meters long or so, there were 2 of them. And then the other one was kind of a pretty substantial kind of half timber, half stone, substantial house looking structure. They are all well alight. So Ray of Frost is not going to put out a fire of that size. Well, I mean, you can try it. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm going to help.
I mean, this is the point where I then have to tell you as well that bear in mind the range on the Ray of Frost. So you're probably going to have to cross back over the river in order to do it, and so on and so forth. So.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to,
yeah,
go ahead.
She's gonna just. I mean, I feel like at least Ray of Frost, just like trying to keep casting Ray of Frost, is that gonna maybe contribute more to the assistance of putting out the fire than the buckets at this point? So she's gonna do her part, maybe on the other side or something.
So you may have misunderstood what the villagers are trying to do. The villagers are on the side of the river where you currently are, where nothing is on fire. And they are, if you imagine like your average kind of little medieval town kind of thing, where all the buildings are made out of wood and all the roofs are made out of straw, they are currently basically chucking buckets of water over everything so that sparks from the fire on the other side of the river don't land on someone's roof and set the rest of the town on fire.
Okay, so
that's what they're currently doing. They've given up on the 3 buildings on the other side of the river.
Oh.
I'd let them burn.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe what I can do then is start casting Ray of Frost on the ones that would potentially cast sparks. So, like, just getting the fire under control while they're, putting buckets of water on the house.
You can kind of, go around kind of freezing some of the roofs,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Not a problem at all. I'm going to say that's going to cut the time it would take you to do these roofs. That's going to cut it in half.
Okay. That's
okay,
Truly's just going around trying to do her part there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I feel like Starship Troopers. I'm doing my part. All right. So Demea and Adrian, we're back with you then at the barricade.
Well, I think Demea, after witnessing the whole exchange of Adrian and that poor girl being horrified with his body looting, is gonna go actually check on the town master and see like how the people are there, since she kind of overheard that he was helping them.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You make your way across the square, and you basically find on the other side of the square the sort of the long kind of fence and hedge kind of affair that the townmaster has going around his property. It's sort of like a very low stone wall, but with sort of like a sort of wrought iron fence, and there's a hedge in behind it, kind of thing, to sort of seclude the property a little bit. And you sort of can see that the gates are open, and you can see sort of like a crowd of people kind of milling around just in the sort of the gardens in front of the main house. and you can see sort of near the front gate the townmaster Barden, who you have met before. He's kind of stood by the gate, and he is talking to a sort of tall, upright figure with dark hair in full armor, and you recognize this as one of the figures who was fighting on the bridge or near the bridge. So that's what you see as you make your way across the square.
And Demea is gonna kind of go up to the fancy-looking dude and be like, "Are you the reinforcements they've been waiting on for weeks?"
And the guy kind of he's I mean, Demea's no slouch. She's not short, right? But this guy kind of is able to look down his nose at you. He is pretty tall. So I say again, Aggie, you've gone very faint. I don't.
Me?
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were saying something, but I think it was just.
Oh no! Yeah, I think it was Bonnie.
Yeah. So yeah, the voice of Bonnie. So he kind of looks down his nose at you a little bit, and he says, "Reinforcements. I should ask you the same thing. I am the town marshal here. I have been away seeking aid, but times are hard in Gurdorn, and none has been forthcoming. Myself and my deputies made our way back here with all haste, and it seems that we were just in time. Eh, Townmaster?" And the Townmaster Barden sort of looks at him and says, yes, indeed, Marshal Thurgood, yes, indeed.
So the reinforcements still haven't come. Wow.
And the Marshal looks at you and says, "Haven't come, and are most likely not coming."
Well, it's good you returned then, even though it's a shame you've had no luck finding help.
Indeed, he says, indeed. The Knights of Gurdorn have been mustered in Cavilton, but sadly, there are so many reports of monstrous activity throughout the region that they are fixed in place defending the capital.
So the capital has been dealing with these issues too, then?
He looks at you and says, "When I was in the capital, things seemed normal, but patrols of the Knights of Silver were going out on a pretty regular basis. I think keeping order in the region is becoming increasingly difficult."
Probably because of all the increased activity and monsters. I'm sure people are rather restless. I mean, it's kind of hard to stay calm when there's the threat of death all around you. It's a shame they don't just try to deal with the problem instead of just putting out the fires.
He kind of gives you a wry smile and looks across the river and says, "Well, when your house is on fire, there's very little you can do other than try and douse the flames first. Solve the problem after."
Yeah, but you don't want it to turn into a raging forest fire either.
He sort of looks a little bit. You notice him look at your holy symbol, and he kind of, "Indeed, we must watch the forests. We must look after those. But my focus is on looking after the town, and I must say, from what Townmaster Barden here says, we're lucky to have such powerful assistants as yourself and your group."
That's a good way of putting it. Demea's just like in the back of her mind thinking of everything that happened proceeding up to this point, and she's like, "Yes, we're helping."
Truly, at this point, what does it look like when Truly is putting out these putting the casting ray of frost at these houses? Yeah.
Hmm.
No, well, the effect, but her casting it too.
You, Mhm. And you don't want an ember to get on your feathery beard either, because that'd be
No,
disastrous.
that's the last thing you want. Uh, okay.
Grumbly's got a
Okay.
bit of beard envy though, so
Adrian, where are you in all of this at the moment? Did you go with Demare, or are you?
Yes, because I'm definitely curious to see what the town master would say.
Okay. And the the townmaster basically sort of looks between the two of you, Adrian and Demare, and the marshal, and he says, so are we safe for now? Can I send the people home, or do we think they should
No.
stay here for the evening?
what are you doing?
I'm waiting for them to answer my question.
Me too.
Did you talk to
The
Truly?
I know he's talking to Demare and Adrian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
at this
guess
point,
Adrian's not
I'm
saying anything.
saying back a little bit because I just want to hear what he says. I want to
Okay.
observe his movements.
all right.
his
So
body
so that's
language.
more directed to Demare and the marshal.
Well, let's see, ask me again. I got distracted.
Well, that's fine. In your moment of distraction, you you see that the marshal is sort of about to answer this question, and when another guy in also in kind of full armor kind of comes kind of jogging up to him, and he basically says, Marshal Thurgood, I've checked the perimeter as you instructed, and I haven't seen anything else to indicate that the hobgoblins are attacking from any other direction other than across the ridge. We appear to be safe for now. And the marshal at this point turns to the townmaster and he says, Townmaster, I think it is fairly safe to dismiss the townsfolk back to their homes. And he looks to Demare and he says, I'm glad to have adventurers here to help defend my town. If you would like to come to the marshal's house in the morning, you will find it on top of the bluff behind the pub. And I would be happy to talk about how you can help the town going forwards.
Yeah, that would be great.
With that, the townmaster and his deputy take their leave.
Demare, he didn't say anything as far as what he had planned to take care of the families of the lost loved ones for their homes, did he?
Are you concerned? You were kind of looting them earlier.
To ensure that he didn't take the cash. I feel like he drains this town of their cash and lives a life of luxury above them. I understand.
Townmaster says, the Townmaster says, the Marshal live a life of luxury? Absolute nonsense. He's a soldier through and through. He would never take things from a dead townsperson. He says he at this point kind of turns to his gardens and says, "Everybody, you may return to your homes." He casts a sort of glance back to you and he says, "Are there many fallen at the barricades?"
There's a number of them, yes. Many buildings have been destroyed. People have lost loved ones. It's truly a tragedy. I just want to make sure that the funds are going directly into the town and to the people.
Funds?
Need it.
He says, "Which funds?"
Anything that they may have.
Says,
Or had.
I think you gravely overestimate the prosperity of this town, young man. As this is not a community where people wander around the streets of like they do in Waterdeep with jingling coin purses and gemstone trinkets with money to spend. These are farmers. If there are those who have fallen at the barricades, we will see to it that the land they farmed is parceled out to usually to the neighboring farms, and that their loved ones are looked after until they decide if they wish to stay in Rustwater and make a go of things, or
so they will be taken
move to one of the larger towns.
So they will be taken care of.
Of course, he says, of course.
All right. Sounds good enough to me. I will just keep a close eye on things.
Maybe too close of an eye on things, Demea says under her breath.
All right. Now at this point, you can see like the townsfolk sort of starting to kind of move off back to their homes. You can see maybe one or two people kind of weeping a little bit, perhaps. Maybe they have lost a loved one, they're kind of being led away by friends, that sort of thing. So it does look like the town is kind of rallying around to sort of look after the people who lost somebody. The town marshal and his deputy have asked you to go see them, but that's in the morning. Night has fallen at this point. The fires across the river appear to be kind of dying down, having blazed very strongly for a while. But all of the dwellings on the kind of western half of town have been kind of successfully splooshed by Grumbly or frozen by Truly. And so at that point, you are free to decide what you would like to do from here.
Well, Grumbly's going to look at the corpses of the attackers and start dragging them up into a pile. Maybe they've got some loot on them.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
would have been a smarter group to start looting, Adrian.
Well, Adrian did already loot a couple of them. It's just that he set a couple of them on fire, so they weren't the most convenient to loot. Also, I can't remember who looted it, but somebody looted the wolf pendants off the two ninja people last week, and I think it was either Truly.
I think it was Adrian.
I didn't get any
okay.
pendants or anything like that. I got a couple things of silver.
It wasn't me. I didn't.
You got silver coins.
Truly was distracted.
Squirrel.
I tried to get you a blanket too, but there were too many maggots.
That's true. You did try to loot the Etin, didn't you? So it was probably you who looted the ninja people as well, because they were right next to the Etin. So that's fine. So you have actually looted all of the enemy corpses that were not set on fire.
That's cool. So I'm just going to start piling them up to burn the corpses.
That's fine. Absolutely. You can certainly do that.
He just feels a sense of duty to the dead. Oh, grumbly. He's got a heart of gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're doing that, Grumbly, you notice a couple of the townspeople have sort of appeared, and they're kind of moving the corpses of the couple of farmers who were near the barricade away. They put them kind of near the well, near them in the town square, and kind of covered them over with sheets, that sort of thing. So we can assume, therefore, that all the bodies have been suitably taken care of. What are we gonna do
Maya
after that?
is tired and would like to
Yes.
Yes.
This is not a surprise. You are still possessed of your rooms at the inn, so you are most welcome to go and make use of those.
Truly, the Goliath that is kind of wounded, Truly is gonna go over there and check in on him if there's anything she can do. She's going to kind of quietly approach him. You might not recognize me. I look a little bit different from the first time you might have seen me. My name is Truly. I apologize for earlier. Some stuff out of my control is happening, but I wanted to see if you're okay and if there's anything that I can get to help you.
He looks at you and basically he winces. He's obviously still quite badly hurt, and he says, I just need sleep. I was going to haul my way into the common room in the tavern and sleep it off. I don't think I remember much about what happened, but I could probably try and tell you, but let me sleep for now.
It can wait till morning. I can do what I can to help you get into the common room. Is there anything she like holding out a hand to help him get up? Is that gonna offer any help whatsoever?
Make an athletics check for me, please.
All right. Oh, that's a -1? Oh, cool. Yep. All right. That's 10 total.
I mean, you're able to basically give him some help. In that, you trying to help him up and you helping him along is more help than no help at all. Mm-hmm. But this is like a solidly 400-pound guy, who's about a 1.5 feet taller than you. So you're not carrying him into the pub or anything by any means.
She's gonna Demaya, do you want to maybe get on the other side and help me get this guy in there, and we can all maybe get some rest after this?
Demaya has already went to bed.
Oh, okay.
Demaya's gone.
Oh, she's gone. Okay.
I'm tired. I'm out.
Is any of the team nearby?
Grumbly's going to walk.
Piling up hobgoblins, so he might get to you in time to lend a hand. I think you're moving so slowly that he's probably going to catch you up.
All right, she's gonna
even with his little legs
say the same thing to him instead.
Yo, on my way. Grumbly's just going to run over because he can't resist helping his best friend.
Aww.
Even though he's feeling guilty about humping a leg early.
Water under the bridge. Splooshy water under the bridge.
Yeah. And
Just say that.
Might want to invest in a razor, although the hair looks nice. I mean,
haven't I lost enough hair?
Mm-hmm. That's true, buddy. The beard does suit you, though.
Thank you. All right, let's get this guy in here. I know that we could all use some sleep. I'm done with this day.
All right. So at that point, you all kind of retire to bed. You can all mark off a long rest.
Yay.
Yeah. This day needs to be done.
I will say you are
Yay,
all
hit
sufficient.
points.
What are those? You can say that you all kind of sleep relatively soundly, a little bit fitfully. None of you particularly remember your dreams as you sleep. Demea, there's sort of flashes of darkness and lightning in your dreams. You don't recall very much else. The images are all kind of blurred. Grumbly, you kind of asleep, kind of hearing the sounds of battle, but most prominent of them all, you can hear like the clanking of armor. Adrian, you sort of a very fitful sleep, without dreams that you recall, but you sort of, there's brief flashes of being on the plain of Black Rock that you recall from before, and just a sort of the echoes of a sneering voice kind of saying weak, but then you kind of snap out of it and then go back to sleep and dream about flowing hair, or that kind of successful looting of a body or something, whatever it is that Adrian dreams about. And truly, the dreams are kind of disjointed and all over the place, really. But at one point in the middle of the night, you recall kind of a dream where you were kind of on a street somewhere, and there was a bird, and it was pecking at some, and you went over to look at the bird, and it kind of looked up at you, and it was this brightly coloured parrot, and it squawked very loudly at you, and you're kind of with a start, you kind of woke up in the middle of the night and realised that the feathers from your chin had all fallen out, had formed this sort of little extra kind of blankety pillowy thing all over you, and then you just fall back asleep, and in the morning you wake up, and the feathers have vanished, and the hair on top of your head has also returned.
Oh.
Damn.
So you have all at this point woken up.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
Ugh.
Okay.
And at this point, you are in the town of Rustwater, and there are a number of possibilities that lie before you. There's lots of people you can go and talk to, but there's also you've had a long rest. You've had quite a big battle. If there's anything you feel that you need to do in terms of downtime or anything along those lines, then now might be the time to think about doing it. So you guys have all woken up. Take me through what happens in the morning. Grumbly, what's Grumbly doing?
We all know what Grumbly's
I
gonna
think
do.
we all know.
Yeah.
We all know.
Bacon.
Grumbly's like, reaches over and kind of looks at the dents in his armor and shakes his head. Starts to put it on. Trots out downstairs to the bar and just plonks himself down. Beckons over the serving wench and just sort of usual, and sends her off to go fetch him the largest amount of bacon they could possibly muster. Oh yeah.
I think Demea woke up a little early and decided to go to like the edge of the forest because she's kind of wanting to find something that feels a bit more normal in all the chaos of the past few days. And
so as Demea exits the pub, and you find yourself in the town square, there's a little sort of hint of smoke in the air that reminds you of the buildings over the other side of the river. That's sort of the quickest way to get to the forest proper, is to cross over and pass by those buildings there. There is also a grove of trees, of course, on one side of the town square, which you can go and have a look at as well. So it's up to you whether you want to go and kind of wander the forest, or whether you want to go and have a look in this grove.
I think she wants to go to the grove because she remembers the town master talking about there being a shrine to Mieliki there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you make your way over to the kind of grove of trees, and the first thing that you kind of notice about this as you approach it is the sheer the variety of different types of tree. Right, often kind of groves of trees tend to be like a stand of kind of pine or like a stand of birch, that kind of thing. But there seem to be maple trees, birch trees, oak trees, pine trees, all kind of clustered in this kind of this grove here, and it's a relatively substantial. It's a good sort of few hundred feet. That it goes back, that kind of thing. So it's not huge, but it's a decent patch. But so as you walk up to it, though, there appears to be sort of a not a well-trodden path, but a discernible path that leads further in.
All right. Yeah, she's gonna go further in.
Okay, that's fine. So the most immediate thing that you notice about this grove of trees as you walk in is that you step into it, and by the time you've gone about 10 or 15 feet further in, it feels like you're much deeper in a forest than you actually are. Like there's something that Demea as a sort of a forest cleric, a cleric of Mieliki, would notice. It just feels kind of like the heart of a forest. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
All right, dice behave. 13?
Yeah. So this is a feeling that is very familiar to you. So you recognize it, and you recognize it from having been in forests before. You recognize it from having been taken around forests by your mentor, but you also recognize that in the temple where you did your study, this is kind of how it felt, right? There's the same sort of sense of being part of the forest here. So the path winds a little bit further in. And you find yourself in a clearing, and it is not, it's not like a big church. It's not like a big temple in there or anything like that. What you see is that there's a tree that is essentially looks like it's fallen kind of diagonally across the far end of this clearing, and someone in the middle of this tree has kind of carved out a hollow about sort of 5 feet wide. And essentially what they've done is they've carved it down so it goes about sort of 2 feet down, it curves in, and it forms this shelf of wood in the tree. But the back of the alcove in this tree, this fallen tree, has been left, and in the back has been carved with really quite impressive skill the symbol of Mieliki that matches the one that you're wearing around your neck at the moment. So it's been carved out of the wood of this fallen tree, and you can see on the kind of the wooden shelf there are a couple of little trinkets here, a couple of sort of old looking dried up bits of like fruit or vegetables, that kind of thing. People have obviously kind of been coming and making offerings here.
Demea's gonna just kind of slowly approach the shrine and then kneel in front of it. And she's just gonna kind of take in the feeling that she's getting from the Grove and think back on her mentor a bit and try to think of the good memories, even though those women in the mask keep popping into her head and she's just really angry that she didn't get to go find out more about them.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Go ahead, make a religion check for me then.
Trying a different dice. Alright. 16.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So you're able to kind of focus very much on your mentor. You are kind of focusing in, these images of these kind of red masked kind of figures keep kind of popping into your mind, and kind of distracting you a little bit, and obviously kind of leads you to thinking about his death. But you kind of try to focus on the good memories, and you can remember being kind of in the temple and learning your first kind of cantrips with him. You can remember the first time that you managed to call forth a guiding bolt and you blew a hole in a wall. You can remember, and then suddenly, like, you get a very vivid memory of him taking you on a walk in the woods and you finding like a little corner with a tree where someone had carved much more crudely than this a unicorn's head onto a tree, and him talking to you about kind of holy places, and he got you to put something at the base of this tree that you were carrying. What was it that you put at the base of the tree, do you think? He told you it didn't have to be something big. It didn't have to be something important.
I think just a pebble she had found along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the first times that you really felt a connection with Mialiki. Like, you'd found something in the forest, you'd noticed its beauty, you'd taken something that the forest had given you and you'd kind of given it back and shown that you'd found meaning in it, and you really felt a connection with your goddess at that point. So at that point, you kind of come out of your kind of religious sort of trance a little bit, and you find yourself in front of this altar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that you can have inspiration.
Yay!
And the second thing I'm going to ask is what you would like to do next. As you are in front of the altar.
I guess she'll actually pray to her goddess, just asking for a little bit of guidance and what she should do with all this crazy mess.
Yeah, absolutely. And and you find actually that having thought about all of this kind of significant religious stuff, that you slip back into that religious space very easily, and there's a real kind of thrum sort of power from the holy symbol at the back of the altar, and it kind of resonates with the one that you're wearing on your chest, and you slip back into a trance, and you find yourself back in the dream that you remember having previously. The one where you were kind of floating high above the forest, where like the dark armies had kind of been moving around and the lightning bolts had come and kind of and scattered them all, and you find yourself at that sort of point in the dream, and you remember in the dream that at one point you turned to the south and there was a range of mountains there, and there was a kind of light from within that one of those mountains, and you kind of look that way and you can see the light from that mountain there. But then as you kind of turn, you hear a voice from your goddess, right? You hear a voice, which you assume is from your goddess anyway, because you're and it says, "Look down, child, look down." And you look down, and you see laid out underneath you a small town with a river running through it, a grove of trees near the center. And so over your shoulder to the south, there is this range of mountains with a light glowing in it. And to your north, beyond a forest, there is a large mountain, and a light blinks into existence there as well. Okay. And the voice says, "Follow where your master has led you." And at that point, you wake up.
Oh. I think she's going to kind of like fall backwards a bit out of that one because it was so intense. And little Humphrey's going to squeak a little in protest as he's trying to cling on to her. And I think with that, she's going to kind of shake herself to her feet and run back to town to try to find someone to tell about her vision.
All right. So while you are doing this, Adrian, Julie, you guys are woken up. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go down to the bar and tavern, get some food, talk to Grumbly about the battle that we just went through, the battles that we just went through. As both of us
Hey,
nearly
Adrian.
perished. How are you?
I'm good,
You've
man.
taken quite the beating the last day or two.
Dude, I was so worried about you dying then. It was bad.
No.
You're
I
so
wasn't
lucky.
worried about
That
dying.
bone. How's the bone?
Oh, it's remarkably healed. It's quite amazing.
So your kind got these kind of crazy mad healing skills then. Grumbly
Yeah.
sort of reveals, just sort of lifts his armor up and just shows the poor stitching that he's done on his arrow wound.
Who did the stitching?
Me.
You did this. Oh.
Yeah. That's why it looks so good.
I have to ask, do you have this weird feeling about this town that there's something I've had just these weirdest dreams of recently. Seeing and hearing voices, I can't make out who they are. Have you had anything like that?
No, nothing like that. No. I am surprised that how good the bacon is around here. Do you want some?
I will definitely take some bacon. Bacon is good. I just
all right.
Stop thinking of those dreams.
Truly is going to when she wakes up and she's like, okay, thank goodness, she's just kind of gonna sit up in her bed a little bit and kind of feel really awkward about going downstairs and potentially running into her team. She's just like not super happy with how everything happened yesterday. It was like super intense and she just feels very out of control. She kind of just like mopes her way downstairs a little bit, gets some food, quietly sits down at the table while these guys are talking and eats a little bit, finishes her food, and kind of just walks out to just go outside a little bit and walk around. She's just kind of feeling super mopey and bad for herself a little bit because she just like she knows that she's the source of a lot of this insanity that happens, and then the stuff that that's also out of her control with the town being on fire and completely under attack. She just felt completely inept because of how distracted she was and turning into a guy that hit on her friend. So the whole thing, she's just sitting there feeling really bad for herself. She's just kind of walking around around the town in the area.
Yeah, Grumbly kind of just lets her wander off. He's concerned for his friend, but he knows that she needs some alone time. And besides which, war stories with Adrian's far more interesting than right now. And there's the
Yes.
bacon pile is still only half gone.
Okay. At which point, truly, you are brooding brutally in the town square.
Moping.
Okay,
Moping
sorry.
mopily. Yeah.
Moping mopily.
Mhm.
Sorry. I wouldn't want to hint that you've been picking up habits from someone else.
Thank you.
So at which point you are moping mopily in the town square when you see Demea come running out of the grove of trees, and Demea, you are running out of the grove of trees, and you see Truly moping mopily in said town square.
She sees Demea running up, and she's just like, she kind of has this really uncomfortable smile on her face, and she's just like, oh, do I? She has that moment where she sees Demea, she smiles, and then she kind of looks around to see if she can pretend like she didn't see her and walk somewhere else. Just cause I was like, how can I escape the situation? So she's just sitting there kind of looking around.
Demea sees Truly and is relieved that Truly is no longer a guy, but still remembers being hit on rather vividly, and is like, her cheeks are basically turning purple, since she's kind of purple and she's blushing, and she's just gonna deal with it and be like, well, I don't feel like talking to Broody yet, so I'll go to Truly about this. And she's gonna go up to Truly and basically tell her what happened in the grove and about the vision, and potentially her goddess telling her to follow where her master had led her. But she's like, I don't know exactly where that is. All I know is that I saw 2 glowing mountains in opposite directions.
Would that description ring any bells for Truly?
I don't know. Would it?
Should I roll? Wait, the mountains on the other side, is that one of the emblems for the dwarven gods?
There was a mountain, yes.
Okay.
So on the key thing that you found. Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me, please.
Oh dear.
Seeing as you obviously don't remember, we'll see if Trudy does.
Intelligent. Oh, that's at the top. Okay. That's 15.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, obviously you recall that you are in Rustwater, and mention has been made a couple of times of an iron mine, which is up in the mountains, which are not far from here. And you can look to your north beyond the forest, and you can see that there is one mountain that is substantially bigger than any of the others.
So she kind of looks around a little bit, and she's like, maybe this town is reliant on the mining, right? And that's close by. Maybe after we, I don't know what, if there's anything we can do here to finish helping these people, we could go in that direction and check out the mining area. It seems like they haven't really gotten a lot of response from them lately, so we might want to stock up on anything that could help us. It kind of seems like we might be going into a dangerous situation, but I still want to help you in helping you learn about what happened. That might be a direction we could go. I know I haven't really had the best leads lately.
Yeah. And then the man's gonna kind of plop down beside Truly and be like, but you do have a point about the fact that no one has heard from the mining people, so maybe we should go check that out at some point.
I mean, it might be 2 birds in 1 stone type of situation.
That would be nice.
Wouldn't it be such a relief to finally have a win? I feel like we just get kicked a lot, it feels like.
It really is those stupid ladies and their stupid teleporting. Like, what the fuck is up with that?
I know. So it's obviously some sort of cult under one leader that is the wolf. We've got some, and seeing that it's more than just the one, woman with the mask.
Yeah.
Something, I guess.
And we don't even know if the wolf is an actual wolf yet. Like, what if it's someone called the wolf? Or something. I don't know.
There are some creatures out there that I really hope that it's just figurative, because that would be utterly terrifying. But we have something to go off of. We maybe can try and do what we can here, stock up and rally the others, and I guess I really don't know what to say about last night, Demea. I'm just so sorry. I don't even know if it's my other half. It's like the man that comes out with the wild magic.
He's interesting. He's confident. He's confident.
It's a strange
really
thing where he and I know the same things, but there is a different personality there. I don't know what it's about. I don't try to understand it because it's chaos. But I do know what happened, and I am so sorry. I'm sorry. That's awkward. Let's just call it what it is. It's awkward.
Well, I'm sure it's awkward for you too. It's not like you're willingly turning into a dude and flirting, right?
No, absolutely. It wasn't a choice. I swear. You're very beautiful. Obviously. It's just I don't. She's like, this is getting out of hand.
Is Shirley still bald and bearded?
No.
Okay.
No, she has lost her feathers and regrown her hair.
Because Demeo's about to be like, how do I reciprocate this comment or compliment?
It's not that. I mean, it's like you're objectively beautiful. It's not that I'm saying that I would never hit on you. It's just it's that it wasn't me at the time saying it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay. That. Yeah, Demeo's gonna like awkwardly pat her shoulder and be like, "At least your hair is back."
Oh my god, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, since he's not here, I really was considering chopping off of Adrian's hair, just because it bothered me that I was bald and he has this long hair that he's like constantly bragging about, and everybody talks about it. It just, I couldn't stand it. I felt bad, but I really did consider doing that last night. I was just too tired in the end.
Well, how about this, Truly? If you lose your hair again, I will happily chop off his hair for you.
She puts up her hand for a high five.
All right. So at this point, as you two are like freeze frame there on Demea and Truly high fiving in the middle of the town square, and at that point, from round the corner of the tavern into the town square, you see come strolling the tall, dark-haired, armored figure of the town marshal. And he sees the two of you kind of more or less in the middle of the town square, and he walks over to you, and his demeanor, Demea, is very much kind of hale and kind of hearty, and he sort of sees the two of you, and he sort of puts a sort of a big smile on his face, and he says, there they are. There are two of the heroes who helped save my town. I decided that I couldn't expect you to come to me. I should come and find you this morning. And he sort of does a sort of double take when he sees Truly and says, Goodness me, you have become exceptionally more dashing over the course of the night. How do you do it? What's your secret? And he says, well, I mean, about as well as can be expected for a town miles from anywhere with no real source of help, and part of it's been burned down. But I mean, other than that, of course, we have a parcel of brave adventurers here to help us with our problems. So, where are your two brave companions, eh?
I'm guessing
Food, eh? Right, well, sounds like a plan that I can get behind, he says. Shall we join them?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds better than talking about last night some more. Okay. She just starts walking in the direction.
So, all right, you walk in to the tavern, and sorry, are we having tech issues or are we all right?
Oh
Nope,
no,
we're-
it was the mic again.
That's fine. So you walk into the tavern. The marshal kind of strides boldly across the room to where Garvin is stood behind the bar with his arm in a sling, and he kind of reaches out and he clasps his good hand and he says, "Garvin, are you still serving ale that's as terrible as your axe work is good?"
You hear
Garvin
Charlie
looks
behind going, "Yes."
Garvin looks over at Truly and grins and says, "Probably got worse since the last time you were here, Marshal." Marshal says, "Good, good. Ales all round then for everyone, and let's sit and talk." At which point you all find yourselves at a table with the town marshal, ales in front of you, increasingly small pile of bacon in front of Grumbly, being consumed. Marshall reaches over, takes a small bit of bacon from the edge and says, "Not overreaching, am I, dwarf?"
No, you up yourself. Good man.
And at that point, he sort of eases himself back in his chair, and he says, "Well, 4 brave adventurers come to a town in what's, let's face it, is more or less the arse end of nowhere to help out people in need. Well,
Yeah, need.
I am full of admiration, let me tell you."
And Demea, like in her head, is like, I'm just trying to find the guy who killed my mentor, but okay.
And under his breath, Grumbly sort of kicks under the table and in need to Adrian.
Yeah, so we definitely need to help these people.
Mm-hmm. So what can we do you for, Marshal?
The marshal says, "Well, you see, it's like this." He says, "You've obviously seen the town is in some jeopardy. Now, I'm as much as the next soldier is for sallying out from behind the walls and sticking the horrible monsters with the pointy end, but I feel like we have a responsibility to the townsfolk here to look after them as well as possible. And I know," he says, "no doubt that you'll be in a hurry to go off and perform some other exceptional feat of daring do. I've heard of your exploits from Faradin and Barden. But we could use your help around town. I've been thinking. Well, I've been thinking all we could do last night by the bridge was throw whatever crates and barrels we had to hand in the way and hope that would be enough to stop the charge. We might not be so lucky next time. We might not have as... So I was thinking we could try to put some defences in place. A trench here, a trap there. Small watchtower, perhaps, near the edge of town. Anything to really make the place a little bit more secure. I'm sure you'll all have different skills and can think of things that I can't, but we'd appreciate it if you could stick around in town for a day or two and help us put it on a more secure footing before you head off into the wilds again.
I'm certainly down for some of that. Keeps me close to the ale.
I feel like I would like to do what I can to help this town. They suffered greatly last night. Does anybody have any idea what brought this on? Was anything said before the attack?
Said?
Like, did somebody come in and make some sort of announcement or threat or demand to anybody, or was it just like charge? Did just chaos start?
He says the first that we heard of it was when the miners' barracks were on fire. Wow. And at that point, we threw up the barricade. I sent Erwin, one of my deputies, across to the barracks to find out what was going on. But the red masked figures, I'm afraid they did for him before we could think to send any more help. And after that, we were charged on the bridge, and it was every man for himself, more or less.
I feel like the people who feel like they own the forest, that they keep referring to the wolf as their leader. I worry that they're expanding their territory to this town, and that might be why you were attacked. We have been running into them a lot when we're in the forest trying to help. We never got the chance to really tell you that we found the two men, and she like reaches in and pulls out the wedding ring of one of the men that ended up getting their throat slit in front of them, and she kind of she relays everything that kind of happened to them, and that they are indeed dead, and she hands over the ring. If you know who this belongs to, please make sure it goes to the right place and that their loved ones are told if they are themselves alive after last night. But this is bigger.
He looks at the ring and he kind of sighs, and he looks at you and he says, "Willem, then." He says, "It's as I feared."
This is bigger than the two woodsmen. This is bigger than just last night. This is probably going to be an ongoing thing.
He says, "The wolf, you say?"
They referred
all the more reason to secure the town.
Agreed.
They also referred to the wolf or another name as well, Malakarix. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
No, he says it's not a name that I know. He says, he says, of course, there are any number of minor warlords and bandit chiefs. I suppose it could be one of them trying to come up with an ominous sounding name to make themselves more fearful, but
so it's nothing that you've heard of before.
They seem well trained for bandits.
They did.
He said, "Well, it's not a It's not someone we know of locally. He says it's not someone who's, I mean, I can tell you now. There's been a small group of bandits to the southwest for a number of years now, but we've generally been able to chase them off, and they usually go and pick on the trade round Goodhearth rather than here. But I've never heard the name of. What did you say? It was Malcarez?
Malcarez or Malacres?
So
You can
I don't
barely
know.
hear it. It's very faint.
I see. He says, no. He says, I thank you for this information. It tells me there is a grave threat to the town indeed, but we know there's no help coming. We are neither important nor rich enough for the people in Cavilton to send battalions of soldiers rushing our way. But this place is important to me, and I would appreciate your help.
You have
Well,
it.
you definitely have it.
And he says, very well. He says, I shall be leading a small group of the farmers locally who will be digging some trenches on the outskirts of town to slow any charges of anything that comes towards us. If you would like to pitch in and help today, you are most welcome. Or if you can think of any other way that you can craft or assist or help us in any way, then then please do let us know.
We can use some of the wood from those burnt buildings. If there's any tough sticks left, we can make some pikes, make some spikes, put them in the trenches.
He looks at you and he says, a fine thought, good Dwarfy, fine thought. He said, tell me, my deepest apologies, for we have not yet been introduced.
Right.
Good Dwarf, sir, what's your name?
I'm Grumbly of the Grabthars. But, I'm just a lonely traveller now, wandering the lands. But if what I can do is put a little bit of my expertise to help you defend this town, that'll make me happy.
An honour and a privilege. And he looks over to Truly and he says, and you, of the somewhat erratic looks.
She's just like, every time anybody talks about her appearance in any sort of way, she just kind of gets flustered. I would absolutely love to assist in any way that I can. This town obviously needs it, and I am very worried about this wolf and how it ties into our actual lives personally.
As are we all, dear lady. But well, let's start with your name, as that's what I was asking.
My name is Truly. Truly Jubilee. Nice to meet you.
He sort of nods in your direction. He says, "An honor and a delight." Oh. And he turns to Adrian and he says, "And our other companion," he says, "with flowing locks to match your own." He casts a little wink back over at Truly and looks back at Adrian.
The name's Adrian. Adrian Morningshade.
I thought it was fish.
No. It's never been fish. It's never been morning boner. Never been morning speed. No. It's always been morning shade.
I see. Then I shall endeavour to always make sure that I remember it correctly, he says. And he
It's
says,
really fine if you don't.
It's actually more fun for all of us if you don't.
he sort of looks around the table and he turns back and
This
says,
is why
and,
I'm broody.
so finally, yeah. And the name, please, of the most fetching member of the party.
Me again.
Adrian Morningshade.
Casts a little wink in your direction, Demea, as he says this.
Amaya's cheeks are gonna go like really, really dark, and she'll be like, Demea?
A privilege indeed. And he stands up and he says, well, I wish you all a good day. I will go and organize those, organize my working parties. I wish you all a good day. Truly, Grumbly, Demea, Mr. Morningsteed. And with that, he turns on his heel and heads for the door of the pub, casting a small glance at a Goliath who is snoring his head off on a sofa over near one of the windows, and he says, "Ah, I see we have a survivor. Well, that is good." And then he lets himself out of the door and he heads out.
Demaya has a small smile on her face. She goes, I like him. He's really nice.
And Demea's just kind of like leaning her head on her chin, kind of watching him leave.
I don't think he's all that special.
He's really
And her-
nice. So she looks over at Demea and smiles.
Demea like zoned out, and her tail's like kind of twitching a little back and forth, like.
And Grumbly's just going to lean into Truly and go, did he call him Morning Stud?
Stupor, I think? Morning Stupors? That's, I think, what I heard.
Certainly wasn't
what
Morning
bacon.
Shade.
All right. So at this point, you are in the pub with a snoring Goliath gentleman over in one corner. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do at this point. The marshal has obviously asked for your help. So if you want to go and help the marshal out straight away, then what we'll end up doing is doing a skill challenge where you will all be asked to contribute towards the defense of the town in some way. Okay, which is going to have to be based on your skills that your characters have. The other alternative was obviously if you have anything else you would like to do instead, like talk to other people, or go and buy things, talk about supplies, anything along those lines. You're obviously welcome to do that first. So, what would you guys?
Grumbly's thinking he ought to wake this Goliath up because this Goliath could certainly help us lug some stuff around.
Let's let him sleep. He was hurt. He was injured last night. And I'm sure that when he's feeling up for it, he'll come and join us, and we can talk to him about what happened.
So, we're all going to help the marshal this morning?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yep.
I think protecting the town should be the top priority.
Okay, that's fine. So, what we're going to basically say is that our skill challenge here is going to take most of the day, okay? Because, digging trenches is no small thing. It may even take a little bit longer than that, depending on how long but depending on how you guys do. Basically, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to need you guys to suggest ways in which you can help bolster the town's defenses. Now, you are only allowed to do this using skills that your character is proficient in. So, for those of you who are unaware, that means that if you look at your character sheet, you have got a little red dot next to skills like persuasion or perception or medicine that your character is proficient in. Okay? So you can do anything you want to help the town as long as you can justify it to me in relation to one of those skills. So if you say, like, I want to go and help, like, dig the trench because I'm awesome at digging, right? Then if you're going to do that, like, using your athletics, then if you're proficient in athletics, you can do that. But if you're not proficient in athletics, then you're going to need to come up with some kind of way to help the town other than that. Like maybe you go around talking to people, maybe you design something, you know, maybe you do something else. All right. But between the four of you, we have, in order to complete the skill challenge successfully and on time, every time you nominate a skill for me and tell me how you're going to use it, I'm going to ask you to make a skill check with it. And we need to accumulate 5 successes before we hit 3 failures. If we hit 3 failures first, then there will be some kind of penalty. Like there'll be a delay or an accident or something like that. Right? So, who's going to go first and tell me how they're going to help defend the town with their amazing proficiency skills?
This is an easy one. This is a no-brainer for me for digging trenches with my athletic skills and strength.
Great stuff. So go ahead and make me a skill check based on your athletics and tell me. So Grumbly is just going to go out and dig some trenches.
Yeah, grunt work. So I'm rolling my big D, yeah?
Yeah.
Is 9 still in?
No, I think she had to go.
She went back to work.
Okay, so that's for... hold on. Close my damn sheet down again. Right, so I'm adding that to my athletics then, so that's 24.
24.
That was a good roll.
All right. So Grumbly is both a highly athletically trained individual, all that bacon, the protein, keeping in peak performance shape. You know, he's got energy to burn, and being a dwarf as well, like digging expertise just kind of comes naturally to him. So, you know, he is there leading the trench digging, you know, and it just seems like it, wherever he is, the trench develops at a much more rapid pace than all the other, you know, parties doing the digging. And pretty soon this kind of trench network around the exterior of around the edge of Rustwater starts to kind of take shape, and you know, it's going to be much more difficult for any kind of army or group to kind of charge their way across the open fields now. Okay, that's Grumbly.
Demea's gonna. Oh
no, go ahead.
Demea's gonna use her insight to kind of figure out where would be a good place to place traps and such.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, go ahead.
Don't fail me. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, absolutely. So, Demea's kind of really able to kind of put herself in the mind of, you know, an enemy, like, you know, thinking like, if I was going to attack Rustwater, what way would I kind of journey, you know, what way would I come in? If I was going to sneak up, what route would I take? And, you know, she's kind of able to direct the townspeople, hey, if you're going to put something, you know, maybe think about putting it here. If you're going to dig something, maybe think about digging it over there. And that really does, you know, that definitely makes the, you know, Grumbly's making the work go faster, Demea's making it more efficient. So absolutely, very good. Adrian
is true. I'm going to use my medicine wisdom to teach the people how to properly mend wounds and bring their companions up and get them, healed.
Okay, yeah, good. So you're kind of there, kind of teaching people about like, hey, if somebody gets hurt, then let's do this. So you're kind of so Demea's off kind of like directing the workers where to go. Grumbly's off helping him out. Adrian's kind of running a first aid course in the town square or something, that kind of thing. So go ahead and make your skill check, Adrian. Let's see how good of a teacher Adrian is.
Oh, I think we all saw, how good of a teacher I was.
That's true. I mean, he's very good at communicating with people.
20.
Yeah, underwater specifically.
With the bonus, that's 23.
Okay. Wow. You guys are good at skill checks.
Yeah, really bad at battle.
Oh god.
So far. Oh, truly, it's your turn.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
1.
I'm not gonna be the one to ruin everything.
Oh yes, you are.
So what skill are you gonna use, and tell me how you're gonna use it?
I'm wondering if I can use my Arcana to kind of seek out any potential magic users and try to help them hone their craft a little bit for if there is another battle. I can help them with a little bit of like the basics of using magic and maybe work on a single spell to try like an offensive spell to try and help defend the town next time.
Okay. Yeah, you can that sounds fine. You can see if there's any latent magic users in town or anybody who's got like a basic skill, and you can try and help them hone their craft a little bit. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me, please.
The thing is it's not even the thing that I'm most proficient in somehow. That's the kind of fun part about this.
You handicapped yourself?
I well, no, just like the way it worked out. That's a 17 total.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to say that maybe like you find that there's like one person in town who, let's say Nasine, the golden skinned dragonborn, who's the barmaid at the pub. You find that she's got a little bit of kind of latent kind of magic in her bloodline from her kind of draconic heritage, and she's kind of she's able to kind of do the dragonborn thing of kind of breathing fire, but she's when she gets really mad, like little sparks kind of fly from her hands kind of thing, and you kind of spend a day with her kind of teaching her to channel that and a little bit, and by the end of the day you've got her able to chuck little fireballs. They're not like full fireballs, they're not the full cantrip yet, but they're getting there. So yeah, absolutely, that's good. Good news is, as far as the skill challenge is concerned, we have got 4 successes already, which is great. But we need at least 1 or 2 more. So at this point, I'll throw it open. We don't have to go in order. Who'd like to come up with another way in which they think they might be able to help the town? So we dug some trenches. We've given them kind of first aid courses, right? Demea's kind of made sure the defenses are sort of optimized. Truly has found a magic user and helped bring them on. What else are we going to do?
Ooh. I'm trying to think of some way of help do some combat training with people, but the only thing I could use probably be either persuasion or intimidation.
Okay.
It's useful in battle.
Yeah.
How? If you can tell me how you'd use them, then you're welcome to make the attempt.
Oh.
That's the key here. Is you've got to tell me how you could use this skill to help the town be more defensible.
I'm going to use my Arcana intelligence to teach them on how to craft spells and potions.
Okay, gonna go with like trying to teach somebody how to craft potions, right? So maybe have a stock of healing potions to hand. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me, please.
19. With the bonus is 21.
Okay, as you got over 20, I'll let you have it. So yes, that is fine. You're able to recall the recipe for like a basic healing potion, and you're able to teach some people the sorts of ingredients to look for and how to mix them together. It's difficult because the ingredients are quite difficult to gather. They're quite specific. They're not going to have like a warehouse full of these things, but they're probably going to have, a few to hand if ever they get attacked again, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. All right, let's go around again and see what else everyone else is going to try and do. Go on, Demea.
Demea's going to use her sleight of hand skills that she gained as a little street urchin to help, especially some of the kids, find good ways to like kind of stay out of sight, watch people, and also like learn how to pickpocket in case there's like a suspicious person in town or something.
Interesting. You go ahead and roll for that.
Ooh. 23?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure it's made the town more defensible. It might have led to a small crime wave, but we do now have a number of small people who might be useful as scouts, or informants, here or there. I'm going to say that Demea has kind of maybe built up like I'm going to say that Truly has kind of found like Nassim has kind of warmed up to you a little bit in terms of like the barmaid at the pub. So like she is someone you could consider like a contact or someone you could speak to if you ever want to know a little bit more about the town. Demea, I'm going to say the same thing for you about the various urchins, right? You have the disaffected youth of Rustwater look on Demea a bit favorably, as she's basically taught them how to steal cakes from the bakers. Okay. So, Truly, I'm going to say we're back with you.
Okay. So... Okay. Truly... This is so backwards. This is so backwards. I'm going to tell you the thing that I'm most proficient in is persuasion.
Okay.
And she is one of the most awkward characters I've ever played. Socially awkward players or characters. So, and player. So, instead of going there, I'm going to go and try to address like the town's youth as well. And in the instance that another attack happens, I'm going to try and teach them the art of shade away. Yes, stealth, get out of sight, hide, go to a place that is safe where your parents can come find you after the battle is done, so that they can focus on defending the town. I feel like that would provide them, the town, a peace of mind, knowing that their children know what to do in case of emergency.
Okay. That's fine. Trudy, I'm going to ask you to make this check with disadvantage for me, please.
Some bitch. Okay, so that's gonna be 8 total.
Okay, so you the lessons that Truly is teaching them are entirely reasonable and responsible. and therefore are considered by the kids as really not as interesting as Auntie DeMeya's how to steal stuff lessons were. There's also the fact that half of them seem to be eating cakes, and you have no idea where the hell they've got these cakes from, and therefore they're not really paying attention. And at that point, you just find yourself getting increasingly frustrated because, goddamn, the youth of today not listening to you, and all of that. So you have incurred a failure on a skill check, truly, and therefore I'm afraid you have to roll on the wild magic table.
Is this homebrew or
The homebrew.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Redneck Jedi.
God darn the youth of today, eh?
Mm-hmm.
It's rascals. With thievery skills now.
I'm sending this to the group this time because I'm gonna give a big ol' smile and hope that it's not me.
Okay, that's fine. So at that point, what I'm going to do... right, so, truly, at this point, the rest of you find truly, at this point, in the middle of an argument in the town square with a woman who looks to be about sort of in her middle 30s, who is gesturing at Truly quite angrily. And as you kind of find yourselves drawn back into the town square by more and more shouting, you notice that this woman is gesturing down to her feet, where there is a goat. And as near as you can figure out, it appears that one of the particularly more loud and inattentive children has turned into a goat during Trudy's lesson.
This isn't even cool, man.
And this woman is currently saying, "What have you done? What have you done to my Elwyn? She was meant to be learning things from you that were going to help the town. Now look at her. She can't come inside. Her granny's meant to be visiting today. She was going to be wearing her best dress. And now look at her. She's got a beard and horns."
That she does. That she's really cute.
Oh yeah,
hey,
she's got a thing for goats.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's still your daughter, you know? See it as an adventure, really. This is such a unique experience for her to have in her life. She is still her. She can talk to you. She is still herself. She's really, I think she was the one that was really paying attention. So, you know, she's also very smart. And I'm sorry. She'll go back to normal eventually. You know what though?
Eventually, what am I supposed to do with eventually? Look at her. I'm going to have to keep her inside in case somebody skins her and turns her into a rug.
That would be good to keep her awake, but also make sure maybe a little diaper, like a makeshift diaper, because they tend to make messies everywhere they go, little duties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grumbly's kind of stood over and kind of does just a quick U-turn and sort of twitches.
She's fine. She's gonna be fine. Maybe like let her get some sleep. Maybe get some snacks. Maybe just get her inside. She's gonna have a blast, but she might eat your furniture too. I'm sorry. Really cute goat. Really cute. It'll be okay.
The woman gives you a look that could probably melt lead at 30 paces. And looks like she's about to say more. Would any of the rest of you like to jump in here at this point? Yeah,
Demea's gonna look
Grumbly's
over
too
and
triggered.
see what's happening and kind of rush over and kind of be like, hey, you know what, though? The goat will be a very good distraction if people come. You know, it's like, why is there a mini goat here? So it's really going to save your daughter somehow.
Adrian is just gonna walk over.
But-
She does this all the time. Get your children away from her. Get them to safety, and then walks away.
Okay, so go ahead and make a persuasion check, Demea, with disadvantage because Adrian's being really unhelpful.
Dude. Seven?
7. At which point the woman is building up a head of steam at this point, and she's saying, "This is ridiculous. How dare you all? It's going to be better. Honestly, you've turned my child into a goat. Have any of you ever been a goat? I don't think so."
Actually, my friend here has, and he loved it. Loved it. He said it was He said it was an adventure. He said that it was like a perspective he'd never had before, and it gave him a greater appreciation for his mother. And
Go ahead and roll persuasion for
Yep.
me, Trudy.
that's 15.
15. At which point the woman looks at Grumbly, who appears to be a relatively normal person, albeit for a dwarf slightly obsessed with bacon, and says, "Well, I know that you did good work today with my Thomas, sir, so is she telling the truth?"
It'll wear off. It will. It'll wear off. Don't worry about it.
And it was fun, right? It was fun.
Yeah, and it was a great adventure and a newfound appreciation of eating rotten vegetables.
I mean, it wasn't rotten.
She said-
The fruits were fresh. Come on, we picked them from the garden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and fresh fruit.
Yes.
And she looks at
Yeah.
you and says, "Well,
Kids like fresh
Well,
fruit.
if there's any more strangeness that I hear about, I shall be telling the marshal." And she stalks off with her
Adrian walks by.
child
This is
merrily
bad.
trotting behind her.
Morning boner.
Well, that happened.
At which point, as she walks off, she turns around and she looks at Adrian and she says, "What was that?"
Bad.
Shut
Nothing.
up, dude.
She says, "Are you trying to be funny?"
He's very
Are you trying to be
unfunny.
funny?
He's
Truly, like,
he's
reaches
chronically
down.
unfunny.
Yeah, she
We've-
reaches down,
we've-
takes off her
she-
shoe, and
she-
throws it at Adrian.
She looks at Adrian and says, "We've heard the stories about you picking over the bodies of the dead before anyone had had a chance to lay them to rest, doing things no decent soul would. You keep
Sometimes
your
you
nose out of it."
You got it.
And she stalks off.
Truly, like, stomps over and then picks up her shoe and puts it back on, just glaring at Adrian. Did that help? Did buying at the distressed mother help the situation at all?
Did you turn the child into a goat because it wasn't listening to you?
Why did you have to make it worse, though? I made it bad. You made it worse. She was.
Is that a yes?
What do you mean? Are you telling me that you think trying to make the situation funny after looting corpses of the village? It's just like are you trying to make this town hate us? What is the matter with you?
I feel like that
What is
turning
the
kids
matter
into
with
goats
you?
might make them hate us anyway.
You know what? I made it better for a hot second with the help of somebody that was nice and helpful and backed up my work, and then you come and make it worse.
He
What is
still
the-
shakes
what
from
is your
being a goat.
problem?
He still shakes from being a goat.
It's true.
You-
Look,
He
this
didn't.
is an
The
old
mother
goat
did not
hair.
need to know that.
No.
And the kid will probably have a grand old time.
Yes, honestly, the kid's gonna love it. Come on, kid is just like, woo, I'm a goat. But like, come on, like, Mucky's or Grumbly's an old. Yeah, not old. Sorry.
Hmm.
God damn it.
Rude.
Grumbly is an
We should have you on the digging because you're digging real good.
He doesn't want to be a goat. A kid is gonna love being a goat. There's a very big difference.
Who was
Did
in the
you
middle
ever-
of a fight?
Didn't you guys ever, as a kid, want to be some sort of animal? Like, come on, the kid's gonna have fun.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Was it a goat?
I mean,
What?
I've turned a lot of people into goats before, but my uncle loved it. He loved it. He thought
Where's
it
he
was
now?
just the coolest thing. He's off finding some horse that he gets really attached to animals, and he wrote me about his adventure trying to track down a gray horse that he deemed his for some reason. In which case, he loved being a goat. It's not a big deal. It'll be fine.
I feel like lying to them is probably going to give them a much worse perception of us.
I don't think that we're lying to them. I think that
You, sir, you were looting the dead in
Yeah.
front of everyone. You
And-
don't have any say in what looks bad or not, okay?
and then you mocked a distressed mother of a child that. I mean, come on. How often do you think a mother sees their kid? turn
She
into a
asked what I
goat?
said. I just told her what I said.
Why did you say it to begin with?
Because it was bad.
She takes off her shoe again and throws it. She goes back over, puts her shoe on, and she's just gonna storm off.
Oh dear. So, so at that point, I'm going to say that the day has more or less ended. You have done your part admirably in taking today to make the town more defensible. And the skill challenge is passed, so there are no worries there. The marshal kind of, at various points through the day has kind of let you know how happy he is with your efforts, that sort of thing. He promises to catch you up with you at some point later on. You find yourselves in the town square as the evening is drawing in and the sun is getting low. What are you guys gonna do?
Go on.
Continue teaching people how to, apply first aid to mend wounds and to craft potions.
That's fine. So you're kind of finishing up your tasks for the day. That is not a problem at all.
Same.
People are beginning to drift away as the day ends, and they sort of, need to get back to their families and start turning in as the, sun's going down. Most people tend to sort of, either head for the tavern or head for their homes when it gets dark. So that's fine. Adrian's just kind of finishing up. Demea, Trudy, Grumbly, what are you guys up to?
Demea kind of wants to find the marshal and have, some chats with him.
Okay, that's fine. Where are you going to go look for him? You're in the town square at the moment. You can't see him.
She's gonna try the tavern first.
Okay, that's fine. What about Trudy, Grumbly? What are you guys going to get up to?
Truly is in desperate need of some silliness. So she's gonna talk to Grumbly and see how he feels about like some sort of drinking game, and seeing who could basically who's gonna go under the table first.
Grumbly accepts this challenge.
Okay, That's fine. So the three of you are going to walk into the bar.
By the back
Adrian
entrance.
Back entrance
The
only,
Adrian
of
is-
course.
I'm going in the front.
Your choice.
Okay, that's fine. So you're so Demea goes through the front. You go through. The bar is a little bit more crowded today. Presumably, people are kind of drinking off the stress of the previous day's events and long hard day working to make the town more defensible rather than around their farms. People are obviously feeling a little bit more sociable. You walk into May, you don't immediately spot the marshal. You're kind of doing a sort of scan of both rooms of the bar. As you do it, you're kind of looking around. And Truly and Grumbly come surging in through the back door, and you find yourself kind of meeting up in the middle of the bar with them. There are a couple of open tables if you want to grab one of them and kind of sit down, have a drink, and wait and see if anyone happens by.
Grumbly's going to
Yeah,
keep
Demea will
gesturing.
reluctantly do that.
Yeah, beer.
Okay, so you three take a seat. Adrian, how long do you reckon it's going to be until you join them? Roughly.
I'm heading over right now.
You're heading over now, so you're on the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Demea and Grumbly and Truly, who out of the three of you is going to go up to the bar to order?
I think I want to be one, and I want to say I would like continuous shots of your strongest piss water, please and thank you, as well as maybe
Right.
some dinner for the table.
That's fine. Now, before we get into this, I'm just going to say that the final power word for our little thing is tango. Penny, would you like to just tell us what the power word thing is all about?
Okay, so guess what, guys? This is the last power word we're going to do. The power word being, we have been doing this over 7 different sessions. We have given power words to collect over the time we've been doing these sessions. And if you have all of the power words, you can submit them to Aldous. And within the next 48 hours, you have 48 hours to submit all the correct power words. And that will get you basically into the running for a chance to win some metal D&D dice to be mailed to you by yours truly. Truly, get it? No. So.
See what you did there.
Yeah. So for those who haven't been present for previous streams, there's the VODs. There's a couple of them still on VODs, but there's also the D&D YouTube channel that we have. If you would, I know, come on, it was clever. Gosh. Hi, Sunstrata. Hi, Dag. So yes, if you were present, there's 7 different power words. Collect them all. Go to the YouTube channel. You have 48 hours to get them all collected. They were given at random points within the streams that they were given in. And yeah, so but if you submit them after the 48 hours, we're not taking them at that point. We will be doing on our next D&D stream, which will be the 27th. We will be doing at the very beginning of the stream the roll live. So we'll have all the names, we'll have numbers assigned to them, we'll roll the dice and see who wins them, and I will mail them out after. So
yeah, good luck, guys.
Yep.
Good luck indeed.
And thank you all for who have been collecting them this whole time. That's freaking awesome, because that means that you've been watching and following the story.
Yeah.
That makes us super duper happy.
Yes, we love that support. We love, the artwork, the music. It's amazing.
Everything that everybody's contributing is just mind blowing.
Yes, it really is.
Haldis, how would you like the submission sent to you? Through Twitch Whisper
People
or
people
Discord
can whisper them to me on Twitch, or if they're in Penny's Discord, which I think most people are. If they want to DM me through Discord, you can probably fairly easily find me through there and message me through that. So either way is absolutely fine.
Thank you, guys. So is that a wrap for?
I mean, we can wrap it up there as you head to the bar if you want. If you want to run through just a little bit more, then we can do that too. But if we want to wrap it up there, I don't mind.
I kind of want to see where this drinking contest goes.
That's fine. As long as everyone else is happy with that, then we'll carry on. So truly, as you're at the bar and you're doing your order in your usual way, you hear from next to you a voice sort of say, adventurers coming through town, disrespecting all the locals, same as they ever were. And you see out of the just off to your left, there are two men drinking at the bar. And one of them, who is he's got sort of thinning blondish hair. Looks like he might have a little bit of kind of elvish ancestry in there somewhere. His ears are slightly pointed. Is looking at you with a look of undisguised anger on his face.
Truly's had a fucked up day. So she turns to him and meets him with a very hard stare, turns her eyes red and says, "Do we have a problem?"
He says, Problem? Of course there's a problem. He says, at this point, the guy who he's with puts his hand on his shoulder and kind of mutters something to him, trying to pull him away from you, but he sort of shakes him off, and he says, "You adventurers," he says, "you're all the same." He says, he points over towards your table, particularly towards Grumbly, and he is swanning about, all shiny armor and swords, wander through a town, never think about the consequences, never think about the little people.
I'm sorry. In what way have we harmed your town? We've helped with sheep. We've gone and found what's happened to missing townsmen. We helped fight off the people. We've helped with the fires. We've helped with the defenses. What have you done to help your own town? Why are you coming after us for doing good things for you guys? What is it that you have against us? What is it that we've done specifically to you that we haven't made up for tenfold in our deeds?
Yeah, and for free.
Not really for
free. Are you
We
joining in, Grumbly, or are you coming over, or are you still at the table?
Grumbly's just looking at him.
He's just sort of shouting, just sort of heckling from across the bar.
Mm-hmm. He's too busy drinking.
Truly, you can. What do you want to try and do? You seem to be quite angry with this guy. Are you trying to persuade him, or are you going to try and intimidate him? What are you trying to do?
I think at this point she's a little bit going for intimidation because she's pissed and offended at this point, because she is actually, despite all of the insanity that's happened, she's actually quite proud of what her and her crew have been doing. So she's going to go for intimidation.
All right, that's fine. Go ahead and roll it.
At 17.
On the dice or total?
That's total, yeah.
Okay. The guy looks at you and he basically says, "That's what you do, isn't it? Try and make everybody afraid. Try and make everybody out like you're something bigger than they are. Fill in people's heads with ideas and nonsense. And before you know it, they've run off and they've done something stupid. And what do you lot care?"
What have you done?
Maya's gonna come over as well. And she's gonna kind of
ideas. What have you done? in reaction to something that we've done, as filling your head with ideas. What ideas have we given you? What are you talking about specifically? Tell me.
Make an insight check.
13 total.
Okay. This guy is not just angry. He is upset about something.
If you lose, Demea will ask him.
He says, "It's none of your business. If it hadn't been for adventurers, he'd... And his friend kind of puts his hand on his shoulder and he pulls him away a little bit more firmly, and he says, "Come on, Gavin. Come on." And he looks at you all and he says, "My apologies. We're all grateful for what you've done here. A few seasons ago, some adventurers came through. They went looking for treasure in the mountains. Came back with a little bit of gold from a goblin horde. They left. Gavin's farm's never done well. His son, he thought he could help. Borrowed a sword. Went off to the woods. He never came back."
That's such a sad story.
He says,
We're not.
"My apologies. We're all a bit shook up in town at the minute. I'm going to get this one home."
That's probably a
And
good
he takes
idea.
his drunk friend and he heads for the door.
I want a drink.
Ew.
She's like she like does this to the person behind the bar that she just ordered the piss water from, and she just like sits down next to Grumbly. You know what? My heart goes out to him for what he's lost, but all my life, everybody's always blamed me for everything bad that has ever happened
Right?
to them. Anything
Me
gone
too.
missing.
Me too.
We've done good work here.
Yes.
To good work.
To good work.
I want to do a toast.
She takes the
Okay,
shot glass.
right. So you're doing shots, are you? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Demea
water
grabbed like a
shots.
big pint of something and just chugged the whole thing.
Okay, that's fine. So at this point, I'm going to ask you all to make con saves.
Yep, that sounds right.
I don't know what one of those is because I'm not a nerd.
Big
D.
D.
Adrian, I think we're going to say you're in the bar in time for this as well.
Okay.
You don't know what's happened, but you know everyone's drinking and you're happy to join it.
Oh, yeah.
Alright,
That is
15?
at
16.
11?
So we had
11.
an 11 from Demea. Grumbly, what was yours?
I'm adding the Constitution from my thing, am I?
Yeah.
So that'll be 16.
Okay, that's fine. Everyone is more or less okay after one drink, except for Demea, who's seeming to be a little bit tipsy. You off? That was round one.
Let's do this.
Another.
Yep, that's what this means right here.
Okay, off you go.
And that's a 9.
15.
17.
14.
The big D, bro.
Okay. Both Truly and Demea are looking tipsy at this point. Grumbly and Adrian seem okay. Okay.
Fist bump.
That was round number 2. The stack of shots and empty pints on the table is building. We're at round 3.
That's 10 for me.
19.
19.
Apparently, she's getting tougher the more she
16.
drinks.
She's getting a second wind.
Okay. Adrian and Grumbly, they're still looking pretty okay. Demea is still just a little bit giggly. Here or there, Truly is starting to slur her words a bit and is clearly getting a little bit drunk at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Come on. A.
What'd
This
you
is
say?
life imitating art again, isn't
It
it?
really is.
Okay, next round.
Cheers, bitches.
Con saves in.
20.
19.
Why can't I roll like this when I'm playing like combat? Why can't I?
Right?
Oh,
Okay.
I've hit a 9.
Adrian, what did you get?
I got 20.
Okay, so
It's actually
Adrian
depresses me
still-
that I rolled. this
Adrian
because
still
it's not
seems fine.
combat.
Grumbly is starting to look a little tipsy, and Demea seems to have caught Truly up in terms of how drunk they both are.
Anybody know any songs?
You guys,
I know a song. Me and my mentor came up with it because there's this dude who's from a different order, a cleric. He's a fucking dick. He was accusing me of fucking murder, so I made a song up about him.
what's it called? That's gonna be
It's
like
called-
a really good song.
It's called "He's a Fucking Asshole."
Is it? Hold on, wait. Is it called? He's an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole.
You knew it too. How did you do it? Did you meet him because he's such an asshole?
Honestly, it kind of
An
just like
asshole.
it made absolute sense.
God, he sounds like an asshole.
Like I was in my mentor's office and he walks in and he's like, "What are you doing in here? Like, I'm the trespasser? Like, what the fuck are you doing in here, dude? It's not even your temple."
And like he
Right.
accused you of killing someone you love. Like, what?
Yeah. Just
Next
'cause
round's
of
up.
a freaking tiefling.
You know what? Let's drink to his like dick falling off.
Yes.
What an
Right.
asshole.
It's a 7.
I got a
from me.
10.
Con saves in.
It was
7.
it was almost a 20, but it's actually
10.
13.
It was almost.
Yeah, it rolled to 20 and then it bounced back to 8, and I have a con save of 5, so it's 13.
Okay. Truly and Demea at this point are like properly smashed. Grumbly, what did you get?
7.
You are as well. You have caught them up and then some. Must be the case of the bacon. So you three are absolutely smashed. Adrian is just starting to feel the effects. He's just a little bit tipsy. Just a little bit more kind of, you notice at this point, Adrian, you're the only one who notices because the other one is sober enough to notice that there are one or two whispered conversations around the bar, like small amounts of money being placed on tables and like whispered pointing, at your group. Get the feeling you've suddenly become the target of the main gambling industry in Rustwater at this point.
Demaya, do you remember
notice
when I
that they're
turned
all
into a dude? You remember when I turned into a dude and I was hitting on you?
It
Yeah.
was so weird, but you know what? Truly, you're
Hmm.
kind of good looking as a dude.
Most people are
Yeah.
acting weird. They're like, it looks like
Great
they're
ass
playing
as a
wagers
dude.
on us. They're staring at us and exchanging money.
Oh, it's
Oh,
probably
too late.
because-
Your warnings come too late, Adrian. The next round has arrived.
Dude, you know what though? I get why Duty likes you though. Like he he's drawn to strong, beautiful women. And that's exactly what you are. You're like a goddess of thunder and lightning. You just bring the pain in like the coolest way, and you make a
Con
hole
saves,
in some
everybody,
people.
please.
13.
I got 21
Jinx.
while I'm properly smashed.
Mine
You
landed
got
on
a
a
1?
14 and a 6. It's 14 and 6.
Okay.
The table just made it 6, so that's a total of
Shoot.
11.
Did you just call her Thunder Thighs?
Grumbly, what did you get?
13. You jinxed it with
Yeah.
Evolve there.
13. Yeah.
Right. At this point, Demea seems to have slightly leveled out in terms of how drunk she is. Maybe it's the slight level of uncomfortableness of being reminded of duty. Who knows? Adrian has progressed to the being pretty drunk stage. Demea is still lingering on the being smashed. Grumbly and Truly have both reached the incoherent stage of drunk.
Sounds about right.
My best friend.
You're the best. Come here.
Besties.
The man, do you think they're gonna go to? They're gonna go out the back door?
Ugh.
Why would they go out the back door? The drinks are here. They don't need to leave. The drinks are here.
Butter.
Yeah.
Butter.
What about butter?
Butter.
Oh.
Butter.
Oh.
They're still pointing to us, these people here.
All right. The next round has arrived. Con saves all.
Oh,
so booty. You're so booty because you booed.
20.
I got 7.
15.
9.
Hi.
Okay. So, Demea and Truly are like proper incoherent drunk at this point. Adrian is still just kind of drunk, but he's doing okay. You're kind of all kind of talking about like various things that have happened, and when with the Grumbly like makes like a small goat noise and like falls off his chair. And is under the table snoring.
Oh, don't let the mother of the child see this.
I'm the wiener. I'm the wiener.
It's alcohol that not go alcohol. Alcohol.
What?
Alcohol. Alcohol.
Truly like kind of does this dance thing and then just like gives
Chad
the
was
big
actually drunk.
hug to Demaya. She's hugging Demaya in victory. We're the winners. We beat the dwarf.
Oh dear.
Ah!
And at that point,
method acting
with Grumbly having brought eternal shame on his people, the rest of you can head to bed in the tavern, and I think we'll call our session there.
Yeah, under the table, Grumbly. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This has been so much fun. If you guys have favorite moments that you would like to share either in chat or in the Time of the Wolf Discord channel, please do. We love it so much. And we will be doing another session on the 27th. That's going to be our next D&D session. I will be starting my stream up again.
That is a Friday,
Monday.
by the way.
Yeah,
Next Friday, not this coming, the following.
Not this Friday, but the Friday after.
Correct.
Love a good
Not this
drunken
Friday.
snore
The
farts.
Friday after.
But yes, remember 48 hours to get your power words into Aldous.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And by the way, while we're saying about all of this, thank you ever so much to everybody for supporting the stream so well. It's always so lovely to have so many people here.
Yeah, that just kind of keeps everything going, really. And we love doing it. And we love the art that you guys submit, the songs. Even though I was totally thrown under the bus on that song, that last one, I'm just gonna. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing as always. At the art,
Yes.
you guys hanging out, talking, and it makes it all worth it. All the stuff that goes into it. So yes, we will be
And
doing.
thanks for buying the merch as well, guys, because that.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
brilliant
Holy
to
crap.
see.
That's insane.
It's Time of the Wolf merch.
And so yes, 48 hours from now to do the D&D power word, the dice power word to Aldous. Anytime after that, we're not accepting submissions. We will be doing the roll on stream on the 27th, and yeah, my regular stream is going to start back up on Monday. I've been taking the week off for putting some new stuff together, and as well as just kind of mental health. So thank you guys all for being here. We're going to go raid Epic right about now. So bye.